Out to the tag?
Yeah, have a line coming out from the hearth in line with the tag. So like this side.
So you get bulk.
Well, if you take all this stuff out,
Right,
so
take all
just
that,
leave a little bulk just so we
Okay.
can see the relationships.
Okay.
And yeah, see what this is sitting on.
Okay.
Because you don't associate that with houses of the time. This is all indicating that this house is probably at a higher status. Whoever stayed here had money and invested. And that ties in with this township was on Rispin Estate, and Rispin's just another mile along the road. And it's the local harbour. It's a very small harbour, but it was developed as an important fishing station in the late 1700s. And people who worked here were associated with Rispin as well. In the 1841 census account, a couple of people who stayed here were sailors who would have been sailing out of Rispin. At the moment, you can see the hearth. The hearth actually was blocked off. There was 3 stones blocking the hearth, the fireplace rather. We're not terribly sure at the moment why that was. We appear to have a hearth in front, or some sort of plinth coming out there. And you can see further down this deposit's, well, there's charcoal and we think it might be plaster, we're not sure at the moment, showing through. We're anticipating an earthen floor, because that's what we're in these buildings at this time. But there is the possibility this room, certainly maybe not the whole building, may have had a wooden floor. We're not terribly sure, because the hearth is so high up compared because we're down through the floor. But time will tell. Taken out of this trench, the finds have been mainly glass, window glass, possibly a bit of lamp glass, and 1 or 2 little bits of pottery. I think we only got 2 bits. There was a clear bit and a blue and white bit, yeah. So not any big finds. Some metal as well. There was some like a big metal nail or stud in the fireplace, and the shaft of possibly a nail that was in the fireplace as well. But certainly at the moment this trench has confirmed the suspicion there was a fireplace and this was a better built building.
Clearances. Well, in the early 1800s.
Yeah, it could be
early 1800s,
yeah.
Yes.
Possibly very late 1700s, early 1800s.
So that wee bit was exposed?
Yeah, the top of the wall, except that the fireplace wasn't visible. It looked like the wall ran straight through, and it turned out the fireplace had been blocked up at some point. So we took away the blocking and found the fireplace in there. And it seems to have been quite a posh house. It was plaster on the wall.
I can see a wee bit there, yes.
I think see where it's fallen off on the other side of the trench. It seemed to have some kind of plinth just in front of the fireplace, like a hearth. Not a hearth slab, but you'd have a hearth in front of you. The fireplace, and then the floor coming out from it. Now we're getting bits of pottery and what looks like window glass.
This would be the first one there on the side, wouldn't it, from the track?
Yeah, the first one that you think.
1980 probably. 90? There's a wee hole, is that a wee? Yeah.
In the base of the fireplace underneath there,
There would be peats here, wouldn't there? Very close too. I think somebody cuts peats here.
Yeah.
I think so. Johnny, maybe. Do you know Johnny?
Yeah, John Martin.
Yeah.
There's no peat just in this area. There's no.
Pretty substantial, isn't it?
Yeah. Halfway through
Door?
here.
Yeah. Well, we better come through the door.
And then another dividing wall here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did more work on this house, you could maybe look at whether it was built like in different phases, extended over time. Maybe even that room was added on. Don't know. You'd have to do more work to see. Or it could be the whole thing was built quite late. Don't know. Or maybe it's more plaster mixed in, but.
Oh, he's coming this way.
Across the hearth. We're not terribly sure at the moment. might know, I always suspected there was a fireplace in this wall,
Alright,
even before it
yeah.
was uncovered,
Alright.
because the wall was wider, and you could actually just see through the turf this kind of mark here.
All right. Yeah.
And given evidence from other pre-clearance buildings around about here, I thought, you know, hey. And also the site's great. You see the site's been levelled here, and it's such a substantial building. And you've got this,
It's huge, isn't it?
see the row of rashes coming along the back? That indicates there's a ditch there. This has been drained, the site's been drained. So it sort of said, well, you know, there's a higher status house, somebody's invested, somebody's had time and effort put into this building. So that was why we picked the trench here, of course, was because I thought there was a fireplace here. And we quite quickly came down onto the shape of the fireplace. But as the dig progressed, discovered that the fireplace had actually been blocked up deliberately.
With stones?
With stones, yeah. There was actually a row of stones coming across here. Which was, you know, slightly puzzling. And also that the hearth level was, they seemed to be quite high above the supposed floor level. So that all got a bit puzzling. But I kind of wondered straight away that because these stones were set back a little bit, there might be like a cast iron fireplace, you know how it enclosed the grate and everything into the fireplace would sit in front of the old fireplace, as it were. And when we eventually cleared right down to these big hearthstones, it doesn't show up terribly clearly at the moment. When it's wet it shows up very well. You can actually see this line coming along here, then along here, and back in here of scorched stone. And this is
That looks like ash.
ash, yeah, it's almost sounding like peat ash. And there's a lot of charcoal, and there's a lot of charcoal in the floor layers round about. So I would almost certainly say that's the mark of the grate. So you can imagine one of those cast iron Victorian fireplaces coming out the front here. So the fire would have been there, and then the back of the fireplace comes up there, and then the chimney comes in away up there and out. So that was really quite exciting,
That's quite
because
fancy, isn't it?
that was that's a level of comfort which I would not have expected.
No.